Welcome to everyone. Welcome to all our regular joiners, our regular lunch people. Those of you who are new, just to explain what happens, this is it's a free lunch that we've been doing for quite a few months now for business professionals and people that maybe you're a coach or you're a business professional, but you're looking to find out more about how to use NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, for business leading and coaching. Now, you don't have to be NLP trained. There's people here who are NLP trained, but it doesn't matter. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, and it basically is the methodology of how we create behavior. So when we're working with NLP skills, we're not asking why people are doing things. We can actually break down how they're doing something. Hi, Jackie. Lovely to see you. Nice, I like your nice bright colour today. It was interesting because yesterday I run the NLP Business Circle Club for NLP professionals that are looking to further develop the skills, and we do much bigger masterclasses. And the masterclass we did yesterday was about taking your NLP skills for emotional intelligence. And what came out of that, what was really interesting, was there are so many tools and techniques we have in neuro-linguistic programming that can be applied for things like emotional intelligence. Because people will say, when you're in business, emotional intelligence is a buzzword. And what we then say is, lots of people don't know about NLP skills in business, but NLP skills help people become emotionally intelligent. So we actually have the tools and techniques that can help people become much more focused, much more emotionally intelligent, and much more able to just connect with people. And that's one of the things we're working with Rapport. 45 minutes. We just do a little bit about some technique. Today it's about rapport, and then I'll talk a little bit about my advanced communication skills for leaders and coaches program that's happening in February next year. And also just let you know how you can get in touch with me if you'd like to take advantage of a complimentary 45-minute strategy session. So let's get started. I've been working with NLP in business and coaching for over 30 years. And one of the things that's really huge with what we're doing with NLP skills is rapport. So we have 4 elements of rapport. The first element is similarity. And just to let you know, for those of you who are here for the first time, we're recording. This recording goes up onto YouTube. The recording is me. It's a speaker recording, so it's not the gallery recording. We don't have any handouts, but feel free to take photographs. I'm quite happy for you to take photographs of the slides, and you'll get to see all the recording on YouTube. So similarity, this can be culture, age, gender, parent, career, etc. So there's lots of things that you can be similar with someone. Authenticity, having a genuine interest in others, giving someone a real compliment and showing vulnerability connects us. It really builds rapport. Rapport is when we connect with someone on a human level, where we really trust that person. We might just have met them, but there's something about their behavior, something about what they've said that helps us really trust that person. The number of people I come across that maybe they say, I can't take a compliment. Who's like that? Who feels uncomfortable taking a compliment? Okay. I want you to reframe that a little bit. Think of that in a different way. Are the people who give you compliments lying? Because when you don't accept a compliment, you're actually saying to them, you're just lying to me. Okay. So accepting a compliment is really easy. All you have to say is, thank you. But when someone genuinely gives you a compliment, there's something that happens with us at the unconscious level that makes sure that we just connect, okay? And then we've got shared experience. It can be sport, holiday, family, job, project, etc. I used to do a lot of work out in the Middle East. I lived out in Dubai and Abu Dhabi for many years. And the shared experience there is what brought you here. Because most people who are living out there have come from another country. So what brought you here? You can have a shared experience. We all went through the pandemic. You maybe find people in this particular group that they're coaches. So it could be someone doing something too, because we put you in breakout rooms for about 8-9 minutes to help you connect with each other. But just having that connection, something that you do similar. Empathy, taking the time to understand the world of others. In neuro-linguistic programming, I'll just do this. I bring this in quite a lot. I want you to do this. Just close one eye and just look here. Okay. And I want you to start looking around the room. I know some of you have done this before. Look up, look down, look round. And then just stop in some place and really focus in just through what that hand you're looking through. Now, what happens, you can just come back, what happens a lot, especially in business, or if we don't have rapport with someone, is this is how we're creating our filtered map of the world, our edited perspective, the perspective of any situation. Someone can be seeing the situation from there, and someone can be seeing the same situation from there. And as far as they're concerned, it's two different, completely, and maybe even opposing perspectives. But for you to build rapport, your job is to sort of come away from that and look at the big picture and see if you can find something in that big picture, because it's all the same experience. It's just people seeing it from different perspectives. So the purpose of rapport is to establish a feeling of commonality between people. For example, by using non-verbal communication, body language and voice tone, to get an individual to feel more relaxed in conversations or meetings. Essentially, it's unconscious communication. It's the ability to relate to others in a way that creates a climate of trust and understanding. If you don't trust the people you're working with, you're not going to get anywhere. So rapport is huge. And I've just something jumped into my head there that I'll share with you in a moment. You know you have rapport. Now, this is the key. If this is all you're taking away from today, this is the golden nugget. You know you have rapport when someone volunteers additional information about themselves or a situation that you've not asked for. That is what rapport gives you. So if you're in sales, and if you're in leadership, if you're in coaching, if you're in any business situation, it's you've got that connection with someone that someone starts telling you stuff that you could never have asked about. That is huge. And that's what happens when people have rapport. They trust you, they open up, and they start telling you things that you've never asked about. So we do this by physically mirroring and matching body movements and voice tone. I'm going to show you all different ways, but I'm just laughing because I go to CrossFit, and I was at the gym last week, and I'm not barbell pushing at the moment, but lots of girls are, lots of people there are doing it. But it was so funny. Two of the girls they had their barbells here on this great big frame, and they were facing each other. And in between, they had rest times in between the pushing up of the barbell. And both of them were hanging their arms over the bar. It was like looking in a mirror. It was phenomenal. But what was really funny was one of them stood with her foot in front of the other with the front toe up. And as she went into that position, the other one went into the same position. And then one of them put the tree position, same the tree position in yoga, where you put the sole of your foot against your calf. One of them put the sole of her foot against the calf, and the other one did it. Meanwhile, they're talking away. They had no idea that their bodies were connecting. And it was, I went up and said, I said, you've just given me a beautiful, look how mad I am. I'm thinking about NLP techniques all the time. I went, you've just given a beautiful example of unconscious rapport building with bodies. Those of you who are in training or maybe working in teams, you will see people sitting together and they'll be matching. I'm going to talk a little bit more about mirroring matching, but their body posture will start going, they'll go into the same position, but it's an unconscious communication. It's something that they don't consciously do. And this is why if I'm doing a face-to-face training, I tend not to talk about it. I tend to wait till it's happening, then ask everyone to freeze, and then just point out how everyone's connecting with each other in the room. Rapport is the ability to enter someone else's world, to make them feel you understand them and have a strong common bond. It's the absolute basis of good human behaviour. It's the ability to go fully from your map of the world into their map of the world. In other words, instead of you being only in that perspective, being able to see their perspective as well. It's the essence of successful communication. That's from one of Tony Robbins' books in 1987. When someone feels you understand them, this is the foundation for building a relationship. So the reason that rapport building is so effective is that the unconscious will notice what is different and likes what is similar. Now, if I'm not going to do this visually, but I'll just do auditory. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 3. 3 + 3 is 6. 4 + 4 is 8, 5 + 5 is 9, 6 + 6 is 12. What did you hear there? What did you pick out? Okay, what was that, Marco?
2 + 2 is 3.
So there was 2 mistakes in that.
Yeah.
See how your brain will go straight away to something that's wrong? Your brain is, if something's right, your brain's just going, this is great, this is fine, this is the way it's supposed to be. So our brain absolutely connects with similarity. We do that because we like habits, and it's much less exhausting to be doing things the same way rather than changing all the time. That's a whole other topic. But what's really interesting, if I say it or if I write this up, people will straight away go, you've made a mistake. Think about it. You maybe are running a course, or you're maybe in a meeting with someone and you make a couple of mistakes. What are the things you remember? Do you remember everything that went well? No, you beat yourself up the things that were wrong according to you. So it's understanding the whole thing about rapport is the way that we're able to, on a neurological level, it's all to do with the unconscious will notice what's different and it really likes what's similar. By removing the differences between the individual and the speaker, by matching or mirroring movements, you will build more similarities, which creates an environment of likeness. I even had it this morning. I was at the gym this morning and it was raining, and I've got a bucket hat. I've been wearing a bucket hat for years. I don't care. I just went in the bucket hat. And 3 people that were in that gym who were all under the age of 20 all went, wow, you're wearing a rave hat. And I went, yeah. And I started, so I was laughing with them. So it was a rave hat. In other words, this is what you go and dance and everything with your day glow sticks. And that made a similarity to them that maybe wasn't there before. So it can be dress, the way you dress. It can be the way you talk. I know I talk a lot about the Middle East, but I went to Abu Dhabi in 1982. I went to run a bar in 1982. And a lot of the work I've done out in the Middle East, the first thing I will say is I came to work in Abu Dhabi in 1982. And I might be working with 20-year-old graduates, but I'm talking about being in their country before they were even born, and straight away you have a connection. I might talk about some cricket matches I've been to, or some things that I do with cricket. And all of a sudden, people stop seeing me as this sort of older Scottish woman, and suddenly I'm a cricket fan, which I am. And I've been to places in India, all sorts of, and again, it's just talking, it's your stories that help people understand you more and create more similarities. We naturally feel a kinship with people that have a similar background to us. That's why life in general, people will find individuals with the same culture background to form a community. You will see communities all over, cities especially, with different nationalities. It's also the capability to see each other's point of view, to be on the same wavelength, and to appreciate each other's feelings. What are some of the things you do to build rapport? Let's just put this out for a couple of minutes so that I'm not doing all the talking. What are some of the things that you do to build rapport? Consciously. You'll be doing lots of things unconsciously, but what are some of the conscious things you do to build rapport? Yes, John.
Play sport.
Play sports. What is it about playing sport that builds rapport?
In my experience in my career, when I'm working with like in a new account, as an example, I often use sport to start building rapport and building relationships. If there's football or there's paddle tennis, which is big in the Middle East at the moment, that's been a great way in to build those relationships and build the rapport.
Yeah, so you start bringing in some of the things you do, and then so you're not talking business straight away. You're talking about a similarity you have, and that opens up someone's mind to do business with you much more. Yes, thank you, Tracy. I think you put your hand up. Yeah.
Yeah, I just always ask the question about them. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and just so that I can then pick up where there is a mutual connection. So I pick up on things that they might mention that connect with me.
Yes. So it's asking questions to get to know someone a little bit more, and then just consciously picking out and just focusing on the things that are maybe similar. Anything else? Who's got another one? Let's get one more. Yes, Dennis?
Working from an open posture and voice modulation. I find it's very important when I'm working with a client. If they're very dynamic, I need to pace up to that. Or if they're slightly withdrawn, I'm going to relax. It's easy with this.
Yeah. So what you're doing there is you're matching your voice tone and pace to people you're with. Because if someone is really relaxed and slow talking and really taking them time to be considered, and you're coming at them like that, you're not going to get anywhere. But also, if someone's like that and it's like so you've got to move your energy levels. Energy is a bit intangible. But when we work with neuro-linguistic program, we really learn about state change and ramping up energy. So it's ramping up your energy level or matching your energy level to the people you're with. So thank you for that. And then there's a non-verbal communication to establish emphasis in the spoken word, maintain interpersonal relationships. This is done by facial expressions, touch, gesture, body language, and voice tone. Who has ever, and we see this a lot online, we're in a gallery at the moment. Who's ever been in a gallery situation and maybe they're delivering some content and people going, okay, yeah. Hopefully you're not going to be doing that. Hopefully you're not going to be doing that. But sometimes people have faces that they're not aware, they're not self-aware about their expressions and their gestures. The biggest one is the eye roll, the rolling of the eyes. So for building rapport, it's being really conscious of your gestures, the type of things you could do that could knock you out of rapport with someone. Because how does it feel if someone suddenly rolls their eyes at you or tuts? You suddenly get this, wait, hang on a minute, you're not in the same, maybe there was a nice connection there and all of a sudden you're hearing that, or they're chatting away while you're talking. And these are all the things that can break rapport. So it's being aware. When we work with NLP techniques, we talk about being conscious of a lot of the things you're doing automatically. So it's helping you to become conscious of a lot of your automatic things that you're doing. It's estimated now, and this comes from some of the research, the latest research, neuroscience, nonverbal communication has been reported to account for between 70 to 80% of communication. There is a model that's been around for years that many of you may know in business, and it's the Merhabian model, which is quoted as stating the spoken word is 7%, while voice tone is 38% and body language is 55%, meaning the nonverbal part of our communication, 93%. That was a very specific piece of research, and it was with midwives. So neuroscience is now saying you cannot break down the voice tone and the gesture, body posture. You can't break them down. But what we're now saying is it can be between 20 to 30, but I'm even seeing some research now that's saying 10% of what is said is communication, but it depends what you're talking about. Because with neuro-linguistic program, we're talking neuro, which is all your neurology, linguistic, the words we're using, and how that affects behavior of people, the programming. So when we're working with NLP, we're wanting to be quite a large part of that communication to be the words that are spoken, but also being very conscious of body posture and voice tone. You build rapport. In order to purposely build rapport, we have to do what we'd normally be doing unconsciously and become conscious of how we're doing it. It's as simple as that. This is something that every single person is already doing. It's just becoming conscious of it. The quickest way to build rapport is to watch a person's body language elegantly, match and mirror it, then lead. Matching and mirroring is replicating and reflecting aspects of the individual's behavior back to them. So it's things like matching gestures, facial expressions or blinking, breathing. If someone's breathing very shallow, their voice comes up here. If they're breathing much deeper, the voice changes. So that the actual gesture and posture can influence, and breathing influence voice tone. Tonality, which Dennis just spoke about, voice tone, tempo, and also the volume. And the words that you use, matching visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, or what we call kinesthetic, which are feeling words, repeating keywords, and common experiencing association. So before I put you into the breakout rooms, I would like someone to just volunteer something. I want to show you how not to mirror and match, and then how to do it. So who would like to do that with me? I'm going to put you on to Spotlight. Who would like to do this with me? Okay, thank you, Ken. I'll just put you onto Spotlight. Now, I want you to be able to move your hands, and I want to be able to see gestures and everything. Tell me something that you really enjoy doing.
Something that I really enjoy doing. I enjoy jogging.
You enjoy jogging. What is it about jogging you enjoy?
It relaxes me. It helps me to clear my head.
Okay, so it relaxes you. It helps you to clear your head.
Yeah. And
I'll stop there. What's happening? How uncomfortable am I making Ken feel? Because what I'm doing, I'm mimicking him. Mirroring and matching is not mimicking. Ken, I'd like you to just put your right hand up. Just put your right hand up. I'm putting up my left hand. What's that? That's actually as if it was in a mirror, yeah? It's as if a mirror. If I put up my right hand, that's matching. So sometimes you can put your hand down now, Ken, that's lovely. Sometimes you might find, if you move to your left, just move your head slightly to your left. Yeah, so I could move my body posture like this. This is a mirroring, but I could also do that. Stay where you are. Oh, see, Ken's coming with me. I've got rapport. I'm leading and he's following me. So so can you see that way? You can be opposite, but that's matching. Okay, so let's do this elegantly. So Ken, tell me a little bit about what you enjoy doing. It can be something different.
Something different. Okay. I really enjoy going to the cinema.
Okay. So what is it about going to the cinema that you enjoy?
I usually go with a friend, and there's a lot of discussion afterwards, but I just like the camaraderie of being there. We get new ideas and new thoughts about different experiences, the human experience, if you will. Okay.
So what are some of the places that you've been with a friend?
What
are some of the films that you've seen with a friend?
Oh,
okay. Well, we can just stop there. So thank you very much, Ken. I'm going to just take Spotlight away. What did you see? What happened there? What did I do there? What was the difference between the first time when I was doing that and every move that Ken made, I was following him, to what was I doing the second time?
Was there a bit of a delay on the way that you were matching his hand gestures?
There was very much a delay in the way I was matching his hand gestures, and I was doing it very subtly. I was doing that, and then that hand just came up. His hand went there, and I did it, and I just brought my hand there, took it away again. And this is where you've got to be conscious, because I go to the cinema with my friends. When he talked about going to the cinema, he said his hand went up, and we know from neuro-linguistic program, that's where his submodality, there's a picture there. He's remembering a picture, And those of you who don't know about NLP, this is the fabulous stuff we learn about it, and you can talk to me about it later. But I knew there was a picture there because he was pointing to a visual submodality. So I just waited and let him talk, but I've parked in my head, I've parked that gesture. What films did you go to see with friends? And actually, I could have just said, so what did you see? Look how Ken's nodding away. I wouldn't even, and just by doing that, Ken's, so what did you see? Can you see? That's just a statement where I've missed out so much information, but because I've gone, what did you see? Ken's going, oh yeah, she means that's going to cinemas with friends, because I pointed to where he was, okay? So how cool is that? I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. And we're going to go into breakout rooms just for 7 minutes. We're going to do 7 minutes today. And let me move you a little bit. So there's 3 or 4 in each room. Okay. And just see how you can match and mirror each other. And notice when it feels, so if one person talks about what they're really enthusiastic, you want someone to be talking about something they're enthusiastic about, and you want to be getting them to do a bit of hand gesture in the camera. If you're sitting in front of someone, you don't have to mention anything about hand movements if you in real life. But in camera, we don't want someone making huge hand movements here and we can't see anything, okay? So see what happens when you match subtly and elegantly and what it feels like when you mimic. Because when you mimic, it feels horrible, okay? So off you go, and I'll bring you back at 8 minutes past, okay? And we'll just put the recording on pause. Okay, that's recording back on again. So let's get a couple of people just to feedback. What did you get from that?
So I was with Anne, and we sort of had the initial introductions. We do have very different career, very different job roles, but there is a connection in what we do within those job roles. So it's quite easy, I think, for us to build that rapport very quickly and make that connection.
Okay, fantastic. So even with different job roles, it's looking for the similarities about the type of things you're doing within that role. Fabulous, thank you. Who else? Yes, Tracy?
I was just going to say, it was really lovely session. I spoke, and the 2 guys, John and Ken, would definitely build rapport, not only physically with their body language, but also with connecting. I spoke about my grandchildren, and then both of them talked about grandchildren and children and about their ages. And so there was some really lovely rapport building.
Yeah. And thank you for that. If anyone gets stuck, we're all human beings. If you all get stuck, we're all people. So you can talk about being a person, and we're all living. Talking about being a person living. There's loads of things that you can work with. Fantastic. I just want to show you this. Maya Angelou, this famous quote: people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So how do you make the people you work with feel? What are you doing? I don't need your answers. I just want you to reflect on this. How do the people that work with you feel? How do you leave people? Because when you make someone feel really good for no reason whatsoever, you're building wonderful rapport. If someone remembers you, you're building wonderful rapport. If someone learns from you, you're building wonderful rapport. So these are all the different ways you can build really good rapport. So very quickly, just to let you know, in the February next year, it's my NLP Advanced Communication Skills for Leading and Coaching, 3 3-hour live online modules, Thursday the 8th and Friday the 9th, and then again Friday the 16th of February. We're doing this at the moment. This one will run from 9 till 12, but there's a possibility I will be running the same course starting at 3, 4, 5 till 6 o'clock. UK time, so that we can fit in with America, because I know there's quite a few people in the States looking to do that, so we'll probably be doing the same dates. This offer, £675, reduced to £370, closes on 30th December. I'll just give you the link for this. Just put the link in the chat. You can also, there's also on that offer, you can also pay over three payments. So I wanted to make it as affordable as possible for people. And this is really for whether you're NLP trained or not, this is a way that we bring in NLP skills in for business and coaching. If you're NLP trained and think, oh, hang on, we come to this lunch, but we don't get enough time in the breakout rooms. That's what we get all the time. We don't get enough time. Our NLP Business Circle Club, we're about to celebrate our 3rd anniversary. We meet on the 2nd Tuesday and the 4th Thursday every month. And it's a 2-hour session, 2-hour masterclass. It's recorded and all our members get access to all the recordings from December 2020. So that's all the videos and all the audios. And I will send you an email with that. So I'll send you the email details. At the moment, anyone who comes onto this workshop, we offer you a 50% discount. Normally $90 a month. You get it for $45 a month, plus your first month's free. So if you're not sure, you can join, come on, check it out, and then you can cancel. There's no contract with that. So you're not tied into any time. And then if you would like a one-to-one complimentary strategy session with me, the dual NLP business practitioner and NLP business coach is actually starting in September, not March 2024, but we'll be running a course probably starting from March, which is the NLP business practitioner coach, looking at America dates, because I know the dates I've been running have been for Europe, but we're going to look at some America dates. Okay. Thank you very much for coming along. Next week, we are looking at values in action, the driving force for success. So we're going to be looking at your values and different ways that values affect everything you're doing. If anyone would like a chat with me, I'm here for about 10 minutes. If not, we send out a thank you email for coming along here. Fiona at theprofessionalgrowthcompany.com if you want any more details or you want to book the strategy session. We've got that NLP Advanced Communication Skills. You've got the link for that. Or if you'd like to join the NLP Business Circle, this is for people who've done NLP training, even if it's just a small workshop. We're delighted to have you there. Okay. But I hope you found this useful and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Just give yourself a big round of applause. I know we do a 45 minutes, it's straight in, but thank you very much and see you soon. Okay, thanks a lot.